Good afternoon, History 127, World Civilizations 2, my online class. My name is John Van Slyke. It's a pleasure to meet you. I apologize for being a little bit behind. Our course doesn't really open, or at least the content of our course doesn't begin until tomorrow, Wednesday. And so there's still plenty of time and we're doing okay, but I would, in a perfect world, would have had more of the material up and running by this point in our sort of week 0 of the course. Nonetheless, I've designed this screencast specifically to sort of walk you through some practical aspects of the course function and hopefully provide you with a better sense of what you might expect as the course progresses and how you can get off to a particularly strong start in early modern world civilization this quarter. So welcome. I'm excited and looking forward to this. I wanted to begin by taking you to the the campus website, because to find and identify our Canvas course platform, for those of you who might not be familiar with an online course, I wanted to sort of take it from the very top. So for starters, if you visit the campus website, you will notice here at the top, this banner here, there's a little link called Canvas. You click on that, and then any course that you're enrolled in that has a Canvas component, so if it's a fully online course or a web-enhanced course or a hybrid course, any courses that you are enrolled in will automatically appear once you click on that canvas, just by virtue of you registering for such a course. Now you are my online history course, you click on that, and this may be how your interface appears immediately after you click on that course. If that's the case, that's great. There's a chance though that this column will not show up, and there will be 3 little bars up here instead, and you might need to click on those to get this margin drop down to occur. Anyway, one of the things you're going to notice pretty quickly as you interact with the course is that almost all of our interaction will take place via this modules tab right here. So go ahead and click on that, and this is what the course should look like in your world. I'm the instructor, so my interface looks a little different in the sense that there might be a lot more modules and module components showing, although I believe all of the components and modules that are seen here should be showing for you. Anyway, you should spend some time before the class begins tomorrow, if you haven't already done this, looking through the week 0, module 0 materials. They are essentially a really detailed breakdown of what this course consists of, things you might expect. The textbook, you're going to need to get the textbooks right away if you haven't already, because you're going to need to use a textbook and a primary document reader to participate and be successful in this course. So that's a very critical first priority if that has not already happened for you. Moving on from that, I'm going to task you with reading this. You'll notice it looks pretty big, or like there's quite a bit going on, and that's partly true, but you'll note that each of these is, probably a couple paragraphs in content, and you should be able to go through that rather quickly. Scrolling down, I want to point out at the bottom of that first week 0 is your first assignment for the course. It's worth 25 points, and it should be rather simple and painless. I just want you to briefly introduce yourself. And so when you click on something like this is a discussion forum, it'll take you to some instructions, and it will also provide you with a drop-down. You'll notice that some students have already submitted that. I will be evaluating those rather quickly, or rather promptly, probably later this evening, and you should start seeing some scores appear on the grade book for Canvas. You'll notice there is this grades tab. If you're curious as to how you're doing, you can check that at any point. Back to the modules, and scrolling down past week 0 to the chapter 8 module, you'll notice I have things set up so I have a study module and a content module. I'm just going to experiment with this. There's a couple sort of tools that could potentially be useful for you for helping you understand better the content of Chapter 8, which is our first chapter in Early Modern World Civ. But beyond the study module, what's most important for you is this content module. Now, week 1, we're going to have essentially 2 assessments. I mean, if we include the introduction of yourself, then I guess it's 3. That incidentally is due, I believe, by Friday. I think that's the due date that I placed on that first introduction of yourself. By Saturday, and this is going to be true of really every course week, you're going to need to be able to make your first discussion forum post in this debate. In the debate, I'm asking you to read the first part of Chapter 8. All the instructions are here. I've broken it down rather clearly for you, along with some guidelines and rules for participating in a classroom discussion or debate forum. But you'll notice I'm asking you to look at a specific letter written by the Apostle Paul in the early years of Christianity, and I want you to take a stand as to what you think is the most important element of a universal religion that is on display in Paul's letter. That will make a lot more sense to you after you have read the first portion of Chapter 8, and also after you have read my instructions here. Okay? Your task will be to, by Saturday evening, by midnight, you will need to post a 200-word response to the question that I have put down here. And just to help you understand your task, this is the thing. Your task for this debate is to identify and defend which of the 6 features of a universal religion is most evident in the following excerpt from the Apostle Paul's letter to the Romans. So that's what your 200-word response will be. Now, you'll need to return to this discussion or debate forum 3 more times between Saturday night, when you have for sure posted your first response. You'll just need to make follow-up comments in response to something a comment your classmate has made. Now, a good conversation doesn't just say, "Hey, nice job, I really like how you called attention to blah, blah, blah." What a good response in a discussion forum does is a couple things. One, it addresses a specific part of a comment made by one of your peers, and then you appropriately take the conversation in a slightly different direction, using preferably content that you have learned somewhere else in the chapter or in one of the documents that was assigned. Okay? I'm giving you a lot of information here, but since I'm on this topic, I want to try to help address it sooner rather than later. So between Saturday night and Wednesday evening, you will need to make 3 more comments in response to what a peer has said. Those don't have to be 200 words. 100 words will be sufficient for that. Okay, so that's your debate or discussion forum. There will be one of those each week. The other assessment that you will need to take care of is your essay for week 1. Again, by next Wednesday, so a week from tomorrow, you will need to open up, read through these instructions. You'll note that there are some places you'll need to check out. For example, I've put together a essay writing module in the week 0 information, which gives you tips on how to use MLA format, the way I want you to put together your weekly essays, and there will be a rubric there that explains specific things that I'll be looking at to measure your performance or assess your performance. Okay, so and if you scroll down, you'll also see here's the rubric. I'm placing that as part of the original assignment. So you'll read through this. You'll note I put a little statement about background to give you some context. I tell you the specific sources you are to consult to help you write this essay, and then I also say the standards, content, and then here's the question. It's pretty simple this week. They won't always be quite this short, but this one's short. Using your textbook Chapter 8 and the sources listed above, explain the notable impact of universalizing religions upon civilizations across Afro-Eurasia from 300 to 600 CE. So once you've read that content, you should have a better sense of how you would go about addressing that question. Okay, so you know, lots to get you started. It might seem like a lot right up front, but once you fall into the rhythm of things, you're going to find that doing this, there will be 3 assessments each week that you will complete. This week there are only 2 because we're going to take 2 weeks to deal with Chapter 8, and so the chapter review for the textbook will not actually be posted as part of this module until later on this week, and it won't be due until a week from this coming Sunday. So you still have over 10 days before you'll need to complete that that additional assessment for Chapter 8. So I hope that this is helpful. I will look forward to getting to know you as we move through this course, and here's to a strong start. I admire your courage and motivation and self-startedness, which is typically, these are all necessary traits for a successful online learning experience. So with that, good luck, and we'll be in touch.